when doing these messages and these teachings, all these messages and this information that's been passed on, again, I'm connecting in, and I feel like of late I'm sort of like, I used to channel quite a bit, or sort of like do sort of I used to write some stuff down about the soul and about the spirit and about energy and the spirit world, and this has come back again, and this energy sort of like this flow of energy for like the wisdom and insight has come back. I've always been sort of involved in teaching and learning anyway. Spiritually, I've always been involved in that, and even in my own working life and outside of that, teaching, learning, growing, any kind of sort of self development is something that's always interested me. However, the biggest sort of like messages I keep getting, again, the first thing I've been talking about like dissolving, and I've been talking about like moving through cycles and stuff like that. The first thing that comes into my mind is like a phoenix again, and the phoenix is very much around like rebirth, but also rising from the ashes. But it's also symbolic of like this source or this flame that I've been seeing so much lately, and it just comes in and it just dissolves the energy. And all of it's about aligning with source and aligning with like a different frequency. And this is what's going on with the planet. This is going on with us individually at the moment. And again, and as I sort of like connect into it, I'm also starting to see now like a massive sort of like clear quartz crystal. It's in shape of like a like it's in shape of like a pillar, and then it goes up into up into a triangle at the top. And so that's again symbolic of like higher frequencies, clearing, cleansing, purifying, and it's very much around that. But the purification then allows us to more connect and more align with spirit, which is around us all the time at the moment. So it's very much around this at the moment, and it's like this activation, this purification, this dissolving. It's like a preparation for something, for these higher frequencies that are coming in. It's like a lot of this stuff is sort of like around this at the moment, and I've been talking about a lot of this. But it's again, it's that next step of integration. It's not just about talking about something. I think you have to live it, you have to walk it, you have to, you know. And for me, sort of like the last week, there's been a lot of differences in energy. I felt like there's been some like higher energies, and there's also been some flatter energies the last week. But some of that sort of comes back to me again about my mindset and where I'm at, and what kind of things I'm creating as well. So it's sort of like it's very much around that as well. Is that we're being told about intention, we're being told about creation, about co-creation, about how we sort of connect into that. I have sort of like over the last few days, and I've just felt like as I was sitting there, like the angelic presence and the angelic energies are around as well, and a lot of those bring harmony, but they bring clearing and they bring balancing again, and which is what we need is a lot of clearing at the moment as well. I mean, as I start to get into the energies, then are starting to move, and I can see my own energy start to move out, and it's like it's becoming lighter, it's becoming brighter, and that's the kind of sense of this new sort of like frequency that's coming. It's very light, it's very subtle. It's very high, and you can feel the shift. It shifts instantly. Again, I was thinking about sort of like source, and the source energy is an infinite source, and it's connected to infinite realities, and so we're all sort of like vibrating on a different level of that energy of that source, and this is where this like universal law of oneness comes in again as well, because we're all vibrating, and it's about us vibrating on a different energy. I know that for myself. That this peace, this harmony, this balance, when I'm vibrating at a higher level, when my thoughts are clear, my energy's clear, and I'm aligned, and then I can stay in my own frequency. And it's very much around sort of keeping your frequency as high as you can, because there's so much going on in the world at the moment. But it's, yeah, like I keep saying, it's about this dissolving. The clear quartz sort of pillar that goes up into the triangle brings high energies and high frequencies, but it also brings healing. It's very much around healing as well. As I sort of have been connecting in, sort of like I can feel my heart chakra really going, and I know that the heart chakra is very much around healing, it's around flow, and I can feel that energy flowing straight through me. But as it comes through my heart chakra, I'm seeing different colours. I'm seeing like a lemon yellow, a pink, a blue. I keep seeing these kind of colours all the time, which are connected to the ascended masters, but also connected to the angelic realms as well, which are universal frequencies. But I just feel like it comes straight through my heart chakra as I'm talking. I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling brighter. My energy's shifted. My energy's moved. I also feel like sort of like I'm being directed as well, or sort of I'm being sort of like it's like at times also energy needs to be sort of like it goes in a like a natural cycle where it's giving and receiving, yeah. So it goes in, that's the flow of the universe, and I've just sort of like been sort of like taken to that. It's like so as I'm going through this in my mind, you know what I mean, I'm thinking about sort of like my energy frequencies and my energy levels have been a bit like this lately. And as I was being told or being directed into it, then it was saying about sort of like obviously these readings and doing these readings or sharing these messages is building the energy, but it's also it's like again, like I said, you know, receiving, giving, and receiving is the universe. It's like it's giving it out, but also receiving at the same time, and that's the flow of the universe. So we need to look at that within sort of you know, within what we do and how we approach people and how we approach events and things in our life. That's the natural cycle. So it's about sort of like getting that flow going, and so it flows out to the universe, but then flows back to you. So it's like it goes in that like circular motion, and it's very much around that at the moment with ourselves as well. And this is what they were saying to me in that sense, as I'm sitting there and thinking about my own sort of energy frequency, my own energy vibrations and patterns this week. If the energies like it also like if your energies are building, so like your energies can become stagnant as well, and that feels heavy. That feels quite like you're holding a lot of emotion, you're holding a lot of mental energy, and that can happen if you're sort of like if you're being in a like a lower vibration as well, or you're sat in that vibration. So it's very much everything's vibrations, everything. So like now in my mind's eye, I've got like a tuning fork, and it's just been hit in my mind's eye, and I can see it sort of like the energy sort of like as it's vibrating out. So like that energy has a frequency, or that sound has a frequency, and that's the same with our thoughts, and that's the same with our feelings, and that's the same with us. We know this, we already know this, but I think what the thing is, when you're sensitive and you're a spiritual being, that frequency remains in your energy unless you clear and cleanse it. So this is where the crystals are really important, where you start to use smoky quartz to raise a positive vibration, but it can also help ground you. You use your black tourmaline again if you feel there's anybody that's around you that's quite heavy emotions or heavy sort of feelings, and their energy's heavy. We'll use black tourmaline as well. You've got your rainbow fluorite, which is great for like communication with your throat, 'cause it's got the blue in there, but also it's great with the heart as well. Then you've got your rose quartz. So there's lots of things like self-expression, true expression, your self-identity. Use citrin, and then you can use other things like Carleon as well for like your willpower, confidence, things like that can help to develop that as well. So it's about sort of like using those things and using the higher frequencies. I mean, for me personally, like with crystals, I'm always trying to go for higher frequency crystals. I've got like a big massive piece of clear quartz that I use. I've got a big piece of amethyst that I use. I've got like I use auralite that I use.